38th UIM F1H2O World Powerboat Championship once again saw the world's most talented and fearless marine motorsport racers lock horns for the world's most prestigious title in powerboat racing. The 2022 season boasted 4 venues and 6 Grand Prix in some of the most stunning locations around the world, including 2 brand new venues as Round 1 kicked off in Macon, France. Before hitting the Italian stage for back-to-back races with a Grand Prix of Regione Emilia-Romagna and the Grand Prix of Italy. Then Round 3 in the beautiful Italian island of Sardinia, Olbia, with a Grand Prix of Regione Sardinia, with the season culminating in the traditional season finale in Sharjah, UAE, with a Grand Prix of Sharjah and the Grand Prix of the Middle East. And the competition did not disappoint. It was a spectacular year of racing and drama, heartbreak and glory, as 15 of the world's top F1 racers and 9 teams from across the globe put it all on the line for the 2022 UIM F1H2O World Championship title. And it's not just about the racing. F1H2O is a lifestyle, the competition on water accompanied by partying, glamour, shows, and festivities that all make an F1H2O event a 3-day celebration as tens of thousands watch live from their channels across the globe to witness one of the most intense motorsport spectacles to unfold throughout the year. In this season review, we bring you what happened in 2022. The UIM F1H2O World Powerboat Championship launched into the new season at the Grand Prix of France in Macon, Val de Saône for Round 1 of 2022. There were 6 teams and 15 drivers competing at the Grand Prix of France in Macon, with a mix of veteran champions and young blood doing battle on the River Saône. All eyes were on French outfit Maverick Racing Team, led by hometown hero and resident of Macon, Cédric Deguine, who has been competing since 2015 and partnering with teammate Alexander Bourgeot. The man with the number 1 boat this season is the defending 2021 world champion Jonas Andersson of Team Sweden, who finally won the world title after years of coming agonizingly close. He races alongside young Finnish talent Kalle Viippo. The big boys on the tour, Team Abu Dhabi, perhaps the most successful and dominant team in years. Team Abu Dhabi boasts UAE veteran Thani Al-Khamzi, who finished 2nd overall last year. He races alongside 2-time world champion Sean Torrente of the USA, who's still reeling from that engine breakdown that cost him the world championship in the very last race of 2021. He has his sights set on a 3rd world championship this year. China's CTIC team is led by 3-time world champion Philippe Chiappe, who has been struggling to get back to form for the last few seasons. He races with fellow Frenchman Peter Marin, a tenacious, hardened, and highly competitive racer who gives 110% every race, but he's still looking for that first Grand Prix win. Sharjah team boasts yet another multiple world champion, 2007 and 2010 title holder Sami Seljo of Finland. His teammate this year is Dutch ace Ferdinand Zandbergen. Led by 4-time world champion Scott Gilman, Gilman Racing Team boasts rising new star Alec Bäckström of Finland, who finished 5th last year in his very first season as a rookie, and he will be one to look out for in 2022. Bäckström is joined by fellow Finn Philip Roms, who transfers over from Sharjah team. Alberto Comparato is also in the mix with his own team, the young Italian keen to build on a sensational start to last year, where he won the pole position and nearly the race at the Grand Prix of Europe in San Nazzaro. Marit Stromoy of Stromoy Racing is a former Grand Prix winner and year-end podium placer, always fighting for the top rung, and she wants to turn a new leaf after a disappointing year in 2021. She continues to race with Polish driver Bartek Marszalek. F1 Atlantic Team's veteran driver Duarte Benavente looking to add to an impressive record of over 160 Grand Prix raced. Former pole position winner Alberto Comparato crashed out early in the session, but he still managed to get a lap time in, placing him in front of Cedric de Guin, who had a mechanical issue and was unable to get off the dock. Rookies Alec Bäckström and Ferdinand Zandbergen made it into Q3, but then disaster for Zandbergen, who flipped his boat and was unable to run Q3. Sami Celio was fastest in both Q1 and Q2, and he continued his blistering form in Q3 with an exceptional 32.20 second lap time. The boats come around the turn and the race is underway. Celio out in the lead, flanked by the two Abu Dhabi boats, Torrente in the number 6 boat to Celio's right, and Al-Khamzi in the number 5 boat to his left. Celio holds on to the lead, rounding the turn on the inside. Torrente in second on the outside, with Al-Khamzi tight around that buoy. Can Al-Khamzi snatch the lead here? But Torrente is faster. Torrente in second, ahead of his teammate Al-Khamzi in third. The first exit of the race, Duarte Benavente is out early. Tough break for the Portuguese veteran. Out in the lead, Sami Celio is putting in an exceptional performance as he opens up a significant gap with the Abu Dhabi boats. Celio is caught up with his teammate Ferdinand Zandbergen and is about to lap him. But more bad luck for the young Dutchman as Zandbergen loses power and the Dutch driver is out of the race in lap 14. Oh no, there's a problem with Celio's boat. The Finnish race leader is slowing down and pulling off. Sure enough, Sean Torrente pounces, slipping through on the inside of a struggling Celio as Torrente becomes the new race leader. Sean Torrente in the final lap with an unassailable lead. He missed out on the world title hat-trick with a breakdown in the final race of 2021, but he's put that behind him and started his 2022 campaign off on a winning note with 20 points as Torrente takes the Grand Prix of France in Mâcon Val de Saône. The overall results, Sean Torrente is the Grand Prix of France champion for 2022. Al-Khamzi runner-up, Marin on the third step of the podium in third. The UIM F1H2O World Powerboat Championship returned to San Nazzaro for a stunning doubleheader with the Grand Prix of Regione Emilia-Romagna, followed the next day by the Grand Prix of Italy, rounds 2 and 3 of the 2022 season. Teams and drivers were raring to go for the qualifying time trials in a quest for pole position. In Q3, 6 boats had 10 minutes to lay their fastest laps. Comparato was off the pace in this all-out battle in Q3, struggling behind the field. Sami Celio laid down a blazing lap early, 42.25, and led throughout. Both Team Abu Dhabi drivers Torrente and Al-Khamzi and Philip Schiap of CTIC China were all unable to beat Celio. The checkered flag went up and Sharjah team thought they had it, but Torrente was still completing his hot lap. He found that perfect drive. What a run. Torrente crosses the line with a time of 42.09 to take pole position. The boats all lined up, ready for the start of round 2, just seconds to go. The boats launch off the dock. Philip Schiap off to a flying start as he leaves the field behind. Terrible start for Sean Torrente, struggling on the opening straightaway and falling dangerously behind. Bäckström is neck and neck with Alberto Comparato in the 97 boat as Bäckström starts to peel away and fan out, heading to the commitment buoy. 3-time world champion Philip Schiap of CTIC China team leads the pack. Sami Celio is ahead of Sean Torrente, but Torrente has the inside lane advantage. They come out of that turn neck and neck and lock horns in a long drag race down the far end of the course. Behind them, Schiap goes wide, and Jonas Andersson moves up to fight for third. Torrente maxing out his boat on the inside and edges ahead of Sami Celio before the turn to take the lead. What a move from the American Team Abu Dhabi ace. Jonas Andersson has wrested third position from Philipp Schiap, who has dropped since leading early. Team Abu Dhabi's Thani Al-Khamzi is in fourth position. Peter Marin is in 10th position, up from 14th and still on the prowl. And Celio gets hit from the port side. It's a huge crash. Stromoy and Celio collide. The Osprey rescue team is there within seconds, and Stromoy is unhurt, but her boat is in bad shape. Celio also realizes he's damaged and the boat is sinking. He too is out. Schiap is racing hard against Comparato to the buoy on the far end. Schiap cuts in and Comparato crashes and goes right over him. Comparato is okay and unhurt as he gets out safely. His race is over.
Comparato inside. He cannot turn, but he pushed.
And there it is, another great victory for the Team Abu Dhabi ace. Sean Torrente takes the Grand Prix of Regione Emilia-Romagna. Jonas Andersson on Team Sweden runner-up with another Team Abu Dhabi podium double as Al-Khamzi takes third. Team Abu Dhabi take first and third spots. However, Thani Al-Khamzi was penalized post-race for not staying in his lane around that commitment buoy at the start, where he had cut across to gain what was deemed an unfair advantage, and that gave Alec Bäckström the third step of the podium instead. Race day, the action started with the qualifying time trials in the morning. Celio was fastest despite being in his spare boat, yet was still intent on getting a faster time. Just as he began another hot lap, he lost contact with the water and huge air on the straightaway. He flipped and crashed. He was okay, but with his spare boat now beyond repair in the few hours before the race, there would be no racing for him today. As boats headed out for the final shootout, Team Sharjah's hopes were all on rookie Ferdinand Zandbergen. And he delivered, setting the fastest time early on, but with 8 minutes to go, it was still anybody's for the taking. And it paid off. The rookie got pole position. What a result and a huge advantage for Sharjah team. Race 2 of the San Nazzaro Dongina doubleheader, the Grand Prix of Italy. Crowds gathered along the shores of the Po River. Just seconds to go now. Jonas Andersson has a jump start off the dock seconds before the lights go out. Further back, Alec Bäckström is off to a good start as he leaves Torrente behind in 7th and Bartek Marszalek in 9th in either side of him. Excellent start for Zandbergen, the Dutchman in pole position, off to a great start on the crucial opening straightaway to the commitment buoy as he pulls ahead of Thani Al-Khamzi in second position. Jonas Andersson started in the lead, but that jump start will be penalized. Nevertheless, Zandbergen still manages to overhaul Andersson with Al-Khamzi second. Meanwhile, Sean Torrente has recovered and has number 97 Alberto Comparato in his sights in P6. Oh no, huge disappointment for Peter Marin, who was barreling through the field, and he's been disqualified for his boat number sticker coming off. Another driver drops out. This time it's Alec Bäckström, the Gilman Racing driver, back on the dock with a host of issues. Zandbergen has to fight nerves now with two hard-charging Team Abu Dhabi boats barreling toward him, and he has to fight them off for 35 laps. Oh, it's a yellow flag. Team Sweden driver Kalle Wittbo breaks down and has to be towed off the circuit. Bad news for Zandbergen as the field will bunch up for the restart. Team Sharjah and Zandbergen didn't want that. This will be a big test for the young driver. There it is, the green flag. Zandbergen survives with Al-Khamzi right on his tail, but the Dutch youngster holds point in the lead. So close to a dream race finish now, with a handful of laps left as Al-Khamzi and Torrente give hard chase. There it is, the final stretch, unbelievable. Ferdinand Zandbergen holds off the entire field and the might of Team Abu Dhabi as he brings his number 12 boat in toward the checkered flag. UIM F1H2O World Championship returns to the beautiful island of Sardinia, Italy, for the first time in 18 years, where the fourth round kicks off in the scenic port town of Olbia. The circuit in Olbia is a super tight track with two right-handers, surrounded by a harbor, bridges, breakwaters, and rocks. Lots of rocks. Sammy Celio was flying through the course, but encountered a problem just 20 minutes in and had to be towed back to the pontoon.
There is the rock middle of the race course. Look my specs.
Behind Bartek Marszalek, Team Sharjah's Ferdinand Zandbergen was on a hot lap when he spun out. The rookie managed to keep the boat upright and avoid a more serious crash. He's able to drive back to the pontoon on his own after that dramatic spin out. So here we go with Q2, where the top six will battle it out on the water to see who can grab the coveted pole position. Al-Khamzi has brought his A-game to Olbia. The team hold their breath as the veteran takes on the fast circuit, and wow, what a lap time! 29.92 seconds, the first person to break the 30-second mark. So it's Al-Khamzi who does it. He takes pole with a stunning time, making him the favorite going into the race. Just seconds to go now as the crowds hold their breath in anticipation. And it's on. Comparato blasts off that dock. What a start from the Italian. He surges ahead immediately. Torrente falls behind in the spray from Comparato's boat. Anderson moves ahead of Torrente. Celio in fifth. He's being outrun by Beckstrom to his starboard side, who's a few boat lengths ahead. Al-Khamzi has the inside lane advantage and swiftly moves into first, followed by Comparato. Anderson has the speed on the outside and moves past Torrente into third. Alexander Bourgeot in 13th behind Vipo, and Vipo suddenly slows down and Bourgeot whips past him. Calle Vipo's boat is dead in the water and has to be towed back. The race is yellow flag. Back to the action, and the green flag is out. The race is on. Torrente keeps the pressure on, ramps up the speed on the outside, and expertly carries it around that turn and moves past into third. But all this is too much for Comparato. There's the yellow flag as Comparato's boat finally breaks down under the pressure. The crowds erupt in applause for their countryman's exciting racing. The laps wind down and the positions remain unchanged. Thani Al-Khamzi brings home the win and his championship campaign gets the boost it needed. Thani Al-Khamzi is the first person to win an F1H2O race here in 18 years, and he gets his name on a plaque. The UIM F1H2O World Powerboat Championship returned to Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates for a doubleheader season-ending finale where the 2022 World Championship was decided. Here we'll bring you the first race, the Road to Sharjah Grand Prix of Sharjah. That would precede the championship deciding race, Road to Sharjah Grand Prix of the Middle East. There are two new drivers entering the cauldron of competition for the first time in Sharjah. Comparato F1 adds a new driver, Paolo Longhi, who will race alongside teammate Alberto Comparato. Rookie British racer Ben Jelf will be thrown in at the deep end, joining F1 Atlantic team alongside veteran Duarte Benavente. In the penultimate qualifying of his career, Philip Schiap set the fastest lap time early in the session. A short time later, his China CTIC teammate Peter Marin, who was in provisional 10th position, dug into a left turn and flipped his boat in the rougher conditions on the far side of the course. In Q2, Thani Al-Khamzi was plagued by engine issues. The team hustled, but despite their efforts were unable to crack the mystery, and Al-Khamzi was unable to make it into Q3. Schiap led the field through the session again, followed by Anderson, Torrente, and Comparato, who round out the top six into Q3. Q3 kicked off with the title contenders Sean Torrente and Jonas Anderson trading number one spots. But Jonas Anderson had the edge and would lead throughout the session. And so Jonas Anderson wins the coveted pole position spot, a huge advantage for the Swedes' defense of the championship title. Just moments to go as the crowds hold their breath. The lights go out, the race is on. Anderson blasts off the dock, great start. Vekstrom also has tremendous speed, leaves the field behind him as the boats head to the commitment buoy. Anderson leads Torrente. Schiap in third veers toward the green demarcation buoy instead of the first turn buoy, compressing the field to his right as they fight for space. Vekstrom's superb start allows him to escape the mayhem behind him, and he leads the field to the green buoy. Behind him, Schiap, Celio, Zandbergen, and Vipo turn toward the first turn buoy at the last second. Meanwhile, Anderson is first to the commitment buoy, Torrente unable to get the jump on the Swede. Schiap is third, but just boat lengths ahead of Celio. Vekstrom is on the outside and has great speed around that second buoy, and the Finn is in fourth ahead of Celio. Zandbergen's impressive run today, however, turns to disappointment as he runs into mechanical problems and has to bow out of the race. Ahead in fifth, Vekstrom has caught up with the flailing Torrente. The young Finn is backed up behind Torrente, trying to find a way past. Marszalek catches up and in the confusion attacks Vekstrom on the inside. They lock horns around the left-hander, the boats side by side. Marszalek pours on the speed and locks in fifth. But he doesn't stop there. He has the speed and overhauls Torrente to take P4. What a victory for Anderson, a flawless race from pole to finish, a well-deserved win for his team. Sami Celio gets second place, and Bartek Marszalek, who started in 13th, ends with a podium finish in third, an epic achievement. Anderson's sensational win sets up a three-way battle for the championship deciding race. Here we'll bring you the final race, the Road to Sharjah Grand Prix of the Middle East. The final Q3 session, Philipp Schiap of China CTIC team again dominated the session, determined to go out on a high. Finnish driver Sami Celio was able to get fourth, but it was disaster for Ferdinand Zandbergen, who spun out spectacularly on turn 5. Jonas Andersson laid down a blazing lap and finishing in P2 just ahead of Torrente in third. But nobody could beat the Frenchman, and the pole position went to China CTIC team's Philipp Schiap. What a way to enter his final Grand Prix. Crowds hold their breath. Seconds to go now as crews steady the boats. And they're off. The boats thunder off the pontoon. Schiap and Anderson are neck and neck down that straightaway, but Torrente is falling back. He's late getting off the dock, falling back behind Marszalek and Al-Khamzi, the Emirati keeping pace with Marszalek. Behind them, Alec Vekstrom has a good start, leaves behind Vipo and is fighting Comparato up to the green buoy. Out front, Anderson has phenomenal speed and is pulling ahead of Schiap. The defending champion is first to the commitment buoy. Anderson takes the lead and speeds away. And Torrente takes huge air. He crashes down and lands right side up. Then Al-Khamzi crashes and runs over him, also getting tossed in the air. Catastrophe for Team Abu Dhabi. The race is stopped. Yellow flag. Torrente is okay. He opens his hatch, a miracle after that direct hit from his teammate. Going into lap 16, it's another crash. More bad luck for Team Sharjah as Zandbergen digs in and barrel rolls down at turn 3. The Dutchman is okay, but his race is done. Positions remain unchanged, now with just 10 laps to go, and the unthinkable is happening. Jonas Anderson begins to slow down. His partner and radio person, Janice's face, says it all. Anderson comes to a stop. It is heartbreaking to watch as he comes so close. A breakdown with just laps to go rips away his championship hopes. Torrente, who is back in the paddock, is now the provisional champion. And the laps wind down, ending one of the most dramatic races in F1 H2O history. Philipp Schiap is the winner, topping a successful career in style at the top. And it's jubilation for Sean Torrente and Team Abu Dhabi as he wins his third World Championship title. In the Teams World Championship, Team Abu Dhabi is head and shoulders above the rest with 128 points. Team Sweden is second with 85, and China CTIC team in third with 54 points. In the final Drivers' Championship standings, Torrente's bad luck turns around, and he is third-time world champion.
That is not the way we planned this, okay? But I am 1 meter from being in a hospital because that crash was wicked. And 30 minutes later, I'm world champion. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster day. I said this morning, these are the days I live for. I'm really blessed and thankful for my team and for everybody that supports us. 3 world championships in 4 years. It's pretty good, and I'll take it.
Sharjah topped off the weekend and said farewell to the year with a lavish gala dinner where drivers, teams, and their families got to experience the splendors of an Arabian feast under a spectacular show of fireworks. It was another thrilling season that went down to the wire. See you next race as the 39th season kicks off at the end of February on Lake Toba in Indonesia with the Kopiko Grand Prix of Indonesia. See you in 2023.